Hey, welcome to the Utopia Experience. So today we're actually out here harvesting cacao with Arnoldo. Puede pasar adelante. So basically we have our ripe cacao pods here. And you can see we have all different shapes, all different colors. Some are much more yellow, some are much more green. You can see we have a lot of them that we didn't get in time and birds have gotten into them. So we still ferment these. We're going to put them in a separate batch. So these are kind of our prime cacao pods and this would be like our secondary. These are still good. We'll be able to salvage some of these and we'll do these in a separate fermentation box. So right now we're actually harvesting all of these and we're going to be taking these down to our parking lot because we're actually selling some of these. We're working with a new distributor called Dokeshi out of Germany, and we're going to be meeting with him a little later today. But he's going to be purchasing the whole pods. So normally when we sell our cacao, it's sold as what they call pure baba, which is just the gooey stuff on the inside of the cacao pod here. Let me crack one open. So normally we just have this gooey, slimy deliciousness. We call it cacao. And normally we would just scrape all of this out and we would either ferment this ourselves and process it into chocolate, or you would sell it normally just as pure baba, which is the baba is just a slimy gooey bean like this that's not been fermented. And sorry, it's so delicious. But what we're doing today with Dokeshi is we want to try a new method. They're looking to buy the whole pod. So they're going to be buying the entire pod, not just so they have complete control over it because they want to ferment it to their standards, making sure that it's in a clean, sterile environment. So they're going to be purchasing the whole pod, which is a little bit different than normal. And we're going to be weighing this, and then what they're going to do is take it to their processing plant, and then they're going to re-weigh the baba once it's there. And we're going to just kind of start to get a feel for what the price per pound would be for the whole pod. Like I said, it's a little not common way of doing it, but we're looking to start this relationship with them, and it's something that they're looking at doing. So we're going to get a full load cacao to take down. We only have one sack, so there we go. This is going to be fun. Awesome. It's like playing Tetris with cacao. All right, so let's head on down. I think I'm going to get a little wagon for the dogs so they can just start hauling all the cacao for us. I mean, we only have like 13 dogs. Ah! I dropped two. No! Gracias. And I think there's one more right there. We don't want to lose the cacao. Okay, right on top there. Watch out for the dog. So we met Andreas, which is the founder of Dokeshi, just through a chocolate Facebook page. And he was mentioning about he was buying cacao in Alta Verapaz, and we actually reached out to him, and yeah, we kind of created a friendship. So, and he came and visited us, and now we're going to be working together. As you can also see, I'm walking barefoot, so there's a great deal of benefits for going barefoot. We have another video you might want to check out. We'll leave a link in the description below on that one, but I pretty much am always barefoot here in the jungle. Thanks, Mango. That was 100% your fault. There we go. Awesome. Hola. Nice. So as you can see, cacao is truly a rainbow. Like, it's amazing. So these are all ripe cacao pods, and it really blows me away of the different colors, varieties, variations. So like I said, this is all Criollo cacao, but it truly is it's like a work of art. I love all the different colors. When you look at all the ripe pods together, it really is beautiful. So like I said, we're putting all these together, and here a little bit later, they're going to come pick them up. We're going to weigh all of these and start a new adventure.
A few moments later.
So we're here with Andreas, and basically we're going to be giving our full pods to him. So right now the guys are just doing they're kind of classifying, they're taking out the pods that are not desirable, and we're counting the pods that we're going to be giving Andreas, and then he's going to be taking them to his processing and fermentation plant, and we'll be weighing these out to get an idea on how many pods versus what the weight is actually. So it's a kind of a first try here. So, and by the way, this is Andreas.
Normally the people don't sell the pots, they sell the baba, and the reason is very simple, they don't trust. So John trusts me, I have no idea why, but he trusts me. And for example, this is one of the reasons why we need to separate the pots before. This is a hole taken by a bird, and they're eating the beans, and the beans are bad, so therefore we don't want to have these kind of beans in our selection.
Yeah,
And
because normally what they would do, like I said, the locals would just crack open all these and scrape all this out into the baba. So you're going to have pods that have been opened up, and we have no way of telling if it's a quality pod or not. So that's why it's very important.
So now I see one pot. I want to check whether they have overseen something, but I think this is a little bit brownish, but we will see when we open it whether it's working well or not. So far we take it with us, and we would see after we open it whether we can use the beans. So this is, by the way, a huge advantage, this way of collecting the beans, because you can really see the quality of the pots, and that really is finally a definition of quality and the end product finally in the chocolate we are producing.
Yeah. Because basically this way they have complete control over the fermentation, and you also have a really clean, sterile environment, because like I said, normally when you're harvesting cacao, it's done out on the field. So they're cracking open the pods, scraping out the baba, and they get dirt, and there's a lot of other things and maybe bacteria that we don't want to get into the beans. So this way, they're going to be able to crack the pods open in a clean environment, like on a concrete pad. You know, the workers can clean their hands before they even are in there scraping them out, or even wear gloves, and it really will have a strict quality control all the way through, which I think is a huge advantage and something that really isn't found really in the industry. So I think it's a really cool concept.
Yeah.
So.
And it was interesting because I was lucky to find a place which was already built up, and we are now starting reusing it after 3 years. We're going to reopen the production facility. And yeah, I'm really happy to have this first harvest. And now it will start next week. We're going to select beans from other producers. So I'm really excited to really open the first pots. Dokeshi is a company we founded 3 years ago, and we are importing coffee and cacao from Peru and Guatemala, mainly from Guatemala the cacao beans, and from Peru coffee. And the idea is that we have a social startup. So that means the intention is we want to produce very, very high quality products, and we want to give the farmers as much as they can get based on fair prices in Germany. We are cutting out all the middlemen. We give it directly to the farmers, and we produce then with a great bean-to-bar maker in Austria. And therefore we can also meet the price level our customers demand. And I live here in Guatemala, so now I can openly say it. I live here in Guatemala, I'm building a house, I'm working also on a farm which we built up, so we have our own cacao plants as well. But it's a combination of getting beans from different farmers and from our own spot. So that's a lifetime project. For my last part of the life, I'm dedicating my work and my energy to the people here in Guatemala, which I like very much, to the product, the cacao beans, and of course to a great final product, which is chocolate and cacao.
I think it's great. Yeah. And the other interesting thing that you're going to be doing is having full transparency of where the product comes from, right? You're looking at doing QR codes, so when people buy a bar in Germany or wherever it might be, they're going to be able to eventually see who it came from and where it came from, right?
This is exactly what we want, and you are a very good example, John, because we know exactly that these beans come from your spot.
Exactly.
We know exactly how you are growing the beans. And finally, we will know in the final chocolate bar from whom the first product came. And this is something totally new in the industry.
For sure. So when somebody buys a chocolate bar, it's going to be a QR code eventually where they'll be able to scan and say, this came from Utopia Cacao Farms, have a backstory on us, and then vice versa with all other farmers as well, right?
Absolutely.
So that's amazing,
So when people ask me, why the hell are you buying beans now from Utopia, from an American and a German person, so can't you go to locals and so on and so forth?
They won't do this.
And I would say they would not do that. So my other partners, they are really really careful that they get what they deserve. John, of course, as well, but it's a difference of trust. So John trusts me that I weigh it correctly, that I open the pots correctly, and that I give him the money he deserves, and he really gets. And this is the reason why I want to work with John. And the other thing is, and I don't know whether I can say it, he's a cool guy, and I like the way he experiments. So when you go to the spot here in Utopia, which is, by the way, a beautiful hotel in Lankin,
Thank you.
you see with how much love John is doing the activities. And this is what inspired me when I came here the first time.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
You're welcome.
that. So, but yeah, and so I think, like I said, so to end on why he works with us is to basically show to the locals that he can be trusted. So like I said, so we're a great starting point. We're a great basically launch pad for what he wants to achieve. So we're going to show to the people, like, so the idea here in our village where we live at Semuc is that this year he's going to be buying beans exclusively from us in Semuc. The idea is that once I have the full transparency, I'll show to all my workers, like all my workers that work for us, they also all grow cacao. So next year we'll invite them in under the umbrella, and hopefully they'll start selling in the same way to the Andreas and to Dokeshi as we are. And then as they see the benefit and they see the extra profit that they're going to be making, then it will expand and we can grow into more and more people. We want it to grow very organically. So instead of forcing people to believe what we believe, we want them to come to their own conclusions and see that it's a really good way of doing it. So
the word you said, organically, I want to use it in a different way. What we also are doing with John and the other farmers is we get the certification, the organic label, so that we can sell it in Europe as well. So this process is currently underway. So it's not a problem because John anyway didn't use pesticides, didn't use fertilizers, and so on and so forth. He only used compost, and therefore it's a no-brainer that he gets the certification. And this is something what we also get with our other partners, so that they get the certification, and then you can really use this here as certified organic grown beans.
it's amazing.
It's amazing, yeah. It's amazing.
Thank you again so much.
Thanks.
All right. Safe trip and drive safe because you don't want to lose the
I will definitely.
Bye.